Hey guys, I figured I'd give you a little factoring quadratics introduction today. I have already gone over this scale, but this is exactly what the con assignments are on this week, and it kind of um, adds into our unit that we're working on here with graphing quadratic equations, finding zeros of these functions, meaning where they cross the x-axis, and you'll see the connection between factoring quadratics and identifying zeros of the graph. So I have just an example problem today from Khan Academy. We're given the quadratic equation x squared plus 11x plus 18. And we want to factor this as the product of two binomials. So granted, this is a trinomial, and we're going to factor it into two binomials. So trinomials have three terms, binomials have two terms. Now, more or less, every single one of your quadratics will factor into the form of an x plus a number and an x plus a number binomial. Now, to get the second number of the binomial, or the second term of the binomial, you have to ask yourself this question down here. What are the factors of 18 that also add to 11? Now, 18's got a few factors. So if we're going to factor out 18, we know we can do 1 times 18. You can also do the negative side of things, negative 1 times negative 18. And in that case, you'll get 18 for both answers. So 1 and 18 are factors of 18. There's a few more. We can try 2 and 9, or negative 2 times negative 9. And the last one that I'll write down here is 3 times 6, or negative 3 times negative 6. Now, out of these factors, which two add to 11? Well, let's start with the last one I just did. 3 plus 6 equals 9. So that can't be our choice. The first factor I wrote down, 1 and 18, well, 1 plus 18 equals 19. Can't be the case. And if we look down here at 2 and 9, well, 2 plus 9 equals 11. And negative 2 plus negative 9 equals negative 11. Now again, I want to find out which factors of 18 add to positive 11. Meaning, the factors I should choose are 2 and 9. And they are both positive, positive 2 and positive 9. Now, I'll add 2 and I'll add 9 to both binomials. And there I've successfully factored a quadratic equation. Now, to prove to you that I've successfully factored it, let's do the reverse process of multiplying the binomials. And when I multiply the binomials, I should get the original trinomial that I started with. So, I could do it as a area model. X plus 2, x plus 9. Whoops, sorry about that. And I get x squared plus 2x plus 9x plus 18. And if I was to rewrite that, I have an x squared term. I have 2x plus 9x is 11x and plus 18. Well, guess what? I've gotten my trinomial I'm looking for. If I was to just FOIL this out, first, outer, inner, last, I again would get x squared plus 2x plus 9x plus 18. And when I combine my 2x and 9x, I do get the 11x. So I know I've successfully factored it because I just checked my factorization by multiplying the binomials, and I got my original trinomial that I started with. That's factoring quadratics in a nutshell. Now, why do we do this? Well, If we were to want to graph this quadratic function and you typed it into your calculator and you got an actual answer, your factors actually tell you where it crosses the x-axis. Now, let's see if I can get another page here. Again, we just factored x squared plus 11x plus 18 into x plus 2 and x plus 9. And finding your zero, or your zeros, you set your equation equal to 0. Now, if I was to solve for 0, I have x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 9 equals 0. I am setting both binomials equal to 0 and solving for x. This tells you when the y value is equal to 0, what is my x value? Now I solve this as I would any other equation. I'm left with x equals -2 and x equals -9. Now, these are both my zeros of the function. X equals -2 and x equals -9. Now, here's the connection to the graph. I'm given an xy coordinate plane, and I now know where my quadratic function crosses my x-axis. So I'll go to -2 on the x-axis. I'll plot a point. I'll go to -9 on the x-axis. I'll plot a point. Oops, I plotted at -10. There we go. Now I know that my function is actually a minimum that will occur somewhere down here. I'm not sure exactly where it is because I didn't graph it, but I know that it's a minimum because of my x squared term. It's a positive x squared, meaning it opens upward and crosses the x-axis at -2 and -9. And there's my quadratic. So I guess what you can take from this is that when you factor a quadratic, you are actually finding the zeros. And if it factors out nicely, and what I mean by nicely is you're given actual integer answers, you know you can plot zeros at those points on the x-axis. Sometimes it will not factor out nicely, and in that case, you'll have to use the quadratic formula, which we have not gotten to yet. So that was just a brief overview of factoring quadratics. Again, the 3 assignments on Khan deal with this exact skill. Watch the videos, take this video in as well, and do your best on them. Okay? Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.